Hey everybody, and welcome to another ActionFeatures.net Toy Talk review. Continuing the series of solo RoboCop reviews, as Blaze hasn't seen RoboCop yet, and he gave me the blessing to do these on my own, so that way they're up. We're tackling the battle damage RoboCop this time around. Here he is packaged from the front. Now, I want to just throw the articulation stuff out real quick, since I've said it over and over again with each of these reviews. Might as well get it done now. We've got a ball-jointed head, a shoulder that swivels up and out, hinged elbows, a swivel at the forearm where it meets, and this arm switches out. We've got a ball-jointed hip, and hinged knees, and then hinged hinged ankles with that cool piston behind them. There's a little bit gappage between the shoulders and the hips to give you a lot of free range of movement. Maybe not entirely accurate to the film, but the artistic license NECA used really helps you be able to make the figure move and pose and articulate really well. So I forgive them for not being completely accurate when the figure wouldn't be able to move if they did that. So the packaging. This time around, they've done this really cool battle damage motif to the packaging. The first release of RoboCop doesn't really use this armor design look to it. I believe they introduced it with this one, because this one was released before the spring holster, if I remember right. So they introduced this kind of packaging with this release. You've got the RoboCop helmet down here with the crack down the front. In the back, we could see Robo's chest with all the oil and breakage and all those things going on. It's just really, really cool packaging design. Then we've got RoboCop's name along the top. We've got the figure and the accessories, obviously. On the back, we've got RoboCop's back, the OCP police logo down the middle, and then the OCP logo here, and then the OCP police 001 stamping down the middle. 25th anniversary logo, part man, part machine, all cop, the future of law enforcement. So there he is, all packaged up. This is not really collector-friendly packaging, in that you have to cut it open to get the figure out, and it's pretty much wrecked after that. I kind of wish that all these figures were more boxed like the 8-bit one, but beggars can't be choosers. This is a mass market release. They're not going to do a crazy box for every single one of them. Let's get him out of there, and we'll take a look at him loose. Here we have Battle Damage RoboCop out of the box. Now, when I first saw this figure, I didn't think a lot of it. Like, I thought, okay, it's cool, they're doing battle damage, they're throwing some paint on him, that kind of thing. But once you actually have him out of the box, and you're fiddling around with him and looking at him, he is a lot different than that first release RoboCop. They've tweaked the sculpt almost entirely. In fact, the only pieces that I see that haven't changed really at all, I believe, are the arms, like the lower arms, and maybe the back is the only places that the sculpt itself hasn't changed. Everything else has had like little bullet holes added to it, or melt marks here and there. The shins have these bullet holes. The thighs have tears and scratches. The chest has a ton of damage all over it. The head obviously has been totally changed. It's got a big crack down the front of it. Like I said, I think the only things are those pieces that are the same. Even the feet, even though they look the same from the top, I don't really see too much battle damage from the top, but on the bottom, the actual peg holes are in different spots than the original release RoboCop. So they must have tweaked that mold in some way. And then, of course, we've got this oily dirt paint app that's over the whole thing, which definitely differentiates it from the first release RoboCop. Since we've got him here, let's take a look at first release next to him. So you can see the difference. So although, it looks the same, like pretty much the same mold, when you get them side by side and you're really picking through, you can see a lot of differences. The one thing that I wish they would have done is, and I guess it was almost impossible with this being the size it is to be able to see his eye through that crack that's along his head. In the film, I remember that scene really specifically where he's looking through, you could see Murphy's eye through the crack. And I wish that we could have gotten that on this figure. I don't know if that had to do with Weller's likeness or just the size of it or what, but you cannot see the eye through that crack. Just like the first release RoboCop, he includes the Robo Spike hand that switches out from his right hand. So move him forward just a little bit here. You just pop it off right at the forearm swivel, and you pop the other one right on. It's really easy to do, but it's tough to do when you're standing behind a camera, so I won't be doing that here. And just like the first release RoboCop, he comes with this Auto 9. It fits right in the hand. It's a great size, and it fits. The finger actually fits in the trigger guard, which is really nice. This came out before they introduced the spring holster thing, so he does not have the spring holster feature as the 8-bit and the spring holster RoboCop do. But again, it's not something you're really missing, especially with this one, where it's meant to be Robo when he's been beat up and fought, and even he loses the gun at some point. You don't really think of Robo popping out the gun holster when he's in the middle of a fight like this where he's all messed up. Just like the other videos, we'll do a Robo lineup here so you can see all the releases. Original release, we put our battle damage next to him. And then we've got the Night Fighter, which are the 3 releases without the spring holster. Then we've got the spring holster re-release. Have to back this up some. And the 8-bit spring holster. There's all our Robos lined up. I'm not going to do the comparison with all the different NECA things this time around. You know what? Maybe I'll throw them next to the Predator real quick. Because I would love to have seen... I don't think they ever did a RoboCop versus Predator comic. I would love to have seen that. At least I don't think they did. I think they did RoboCop versus Terminator, but never a RoboCop versus Predator. Let's put him here, and we'll get Predator out here. There's those 2 size-wise. Now, the one figure that you really, really would want to put with this, though, has got to be the Ed 209. Now, when I did the first RoboCop review, the first release NECA RoboCop, I was talking about how you really didn't need to upgrade too much to the spring holster if you already have the original release RoboCop. It's not adding that much to the figure that you probably won't leave the holster open all the time, and it's not that adding much to it. This, however, does add a lot to it, especially when you get the Ed 209. Now, when this figure came out, I don't think a lot of people thought we were going to get an Ed 209, and maybe people passed on it. But now that Ed's here, having the battle damage RoboCop up against Ed 209 just makes for a really, really cool display. It's a perfect accessory to this figure, or to the Ed 209 release, to have the messed up, I've just been in a really big-time fight version of RoboCop. That's one of the things I really like about the RoboCop movie, too, is that he doesn't just make it through the whole movie unscathed. Like, he gets really, really beat up in the movie, and this figure reflects that, is that he's been pretty torn up and pretty messed up. He's bullet-ridden and cracks and dirty and everything everywhere. Cool release, in my opinion. He's kind of gone from stores at this point, online stores and regular release retail, as far as I know. He hung around Toys R Us for a while there, but both he and Night Fighter RoboCop seem to have dried up. So your best bet really is eBay at this point to snag one of these. But they go pretty cheap. They go 15 or 20 bucks. So at that price, you're still paying close to original retail. I think next in line for us is going to be the Night Fighter RoboCop. And that should... Oh, wait, no. We got the spring holster. We'll do spring holster and then Night Fighter. Or maybe we'll switch it up and do them the other way around. We got 2 to go as we continue our Robo review marathon here at actionfeatures.net and the Motu Classics channel. As always, hit the info section for still pictures of this, and we'll see you guys next time.